It's Mocha Z and Kirsten G. Beautiful, strong queens, come and listen to three. Peace and love comes naturally. Powerful, outspoken women listen happily.
Welcome. Power Radio. We are here. I am Dr. Z, and this is K to the G.
Yep.
What's going on, girl? Keisha is vacationing with family. I love their family. They always do like family spring break or family this or family that. I miss that part, and that's gonna kind of tie into our topic: generational curses or legacies. And I think they set a lot of legacies in there.
For sure.
Definitely traditions. But before we get into that, make sure that you are sharing, following, and subscribing to us on YouTube at The Power Experience and Facebook at The Power Experience and IG as well at The Power Experience.
Yes.
And so, it is time for Stories with K Jizzle.
Yes.
What's going on, girl?
I just celebrated my birthday.
Yay!
Girl,
you still celebrate your birthday?
Yeah, still kind of. Well, I'm not celebrating. I'm just randomly receiving things.
Oh,
so
okay.
It's like,
people are still
Kirsten,
celebrating you.
Which I would love to take you out for this or that. I'm like, all right, cool. Let me know what time. So I definitely love that vibe. So what's been happening? Funny story. Well, this is not even a funny story. This is actually just a cool story. So I went to Houston for my birthday. Mm-hmm. It was a cousin's trip. This kind of goes into our topic a little bit. Mm-hmm. So we've been trying to plan a cousin's trips for like forever. Like it'll be always like 2 or 3 or somebody can't come. But this is the first time that we actually got all my cousins to come, and this was like bomb. We had a really, really great trip. It was just bonding, and it was just really a great experience that I wish we would have gotten together a longer time ago, because we used to do those things like as kids, like as a family, because we were always going somewhere. But we never did it when we are adults now.
Well,
so
now you have something to look forward to.
Yes.
Now you see all y'all can do it.
Yes, we can do it.
Everybody's on board.
Everyone is on board, and it was just awesome. So, comment below, like, if you've ever, what kind of, like, trips that your family normally do. Do you guys do like a cousin's trip? You do an auntie trip,
sister's
trip, guys only trip, girls only
adults
trip.
only, no kids. Everybody want to do them.
Everybody loves to do those.
Get a babysitter for real.
Those kind of trips, I think are just awesome because you start to appreciate your family a lot more. And you're just like, it's just family. So I've been doing a lot of that definitely lately. And that kind of is going to lead us on to our topics later on today with our generational curses or legacy. But that's it. I didn't really tell a story either. I just kind of just told y'all what I did.
Right.
We did have some fun times. I will say in Houston, I absolutely love the Southern hospitality. I don't know if it's just it randomly happened to me or it's like that all the time. Like in Atlanta, everything is just Hollywood. It's extra. It's too much. And so we went out to this place and they were giving us you go for breakfast. We're going for brunch. But I thought it was just a regular restaurant. No, it's this big old place and they have booths, all this kind of stuff. And I'm thinking, oh, Lord, we're never going to be able to sit down because we didn't make a reservation, nor are we going to pay $12,000 for a section. Because that was just what I was thinking in my Atlanta head. Like, That's what I was thinking. But when we got there, it was like, no, you can come sit down. It's fine. I'll go ahead and get you a menu. If you want a hookah, just go ahead and text it, and they'll go ahead and send it to you. The system was on point. I was like, okay. So we're dancing, we're partying, we're having fun. Then the lady comes over and then she says, hey, we're starting to change over to now the more of a club side or the, whatever side. In order to stay here, it's going to be, you have to purchase 2 bottles. So I was like, well, how much is a bottle? And she was like, well, it's going to be $300 per bottle. I was like, well, I wish you kind of would have said that a little bit earlier because it's now a little bit later and you guys close at, I think it was like 12 or something. It was like a little bit later. So I was like, okay, well, we're probably not going to do it. She said, no, but you guys can sit here. Once I sell the section, then, you guys will just have, I just wanted to let you guys know before, you had to leave. And now in Atlanta, you would have never gotten that treatment. It would have been like, y'all gotta go. Section is $12,000 plus a 3-day deposit of $600.
You get one bottle for 50 people.
Like, it's too much. But I just like that Southern, that common courtesy. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it happened like that another time. Like, all the places we went to, they were exactly like that. But we ended up having a great time. Basically, Houston is Chick-fil-A. The part that we were in, I'm not going to speak for the whole thing, but the places that we did go to, that's what I felt like. And I was like, I kind of miss that whole thing. We've been living right in the Hollywood of, in Atlanta, and it's not fun. It's more stressful to go out than it is. Yeah. Like, ma'am, it's two of us. Why do we want to pay $12,000 to sit down? Does that make sense?
Or how you gonna squeeze 30 people on a little that love seat from IKEA, mind you? It ain't even a real.
So wait a minute. You mean so much we gotta spend $12,000 for this one sofa? Right. That's the
Y'all
rules.
Better scooch in.
That's the rules.
And you got 30
Management is I don't make the rules. I'm gonna send your waitress over. Y'all want to go ahead and book? Ma'am, no.
Well, if y'all not gonna sit there, then y'all
gonna have to move.
Ooh,
ma'am, it's nobody has sat over here, and you ended up selling the section for $50.
Right.
You wasted everybody's time. But anyway, so shout out to all of those restaurants who are definitely putting the customer first on everything. Actually, yesterday, to wrap up my story, I did go to Crew Lounge yesterday. I was meeting my cousin again, and they had all these different taxes and stuff like that going on my receipt. I was like, this doesn't really make sense. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Okay. You when it went off. Is this still recording? It's probably still recording. Okay, anyway. So they had all these different fees and stuff like that, and I was like, well, I mean, I'm pretty good at math, but I'm not a rocket science or anything like that. But if my bill is $45, how did I end up at $60? So
and
taxes, gratuity, all this extra stuff. And I was like, so can you I need an itemized receipt on what this is. So the waitress she's actually being patient, but she's a little frustrated. Not the fact that she doesn't, that I'm not paying, because I was like, man, it's not the fact that it's $60. It's the fact that I don't understand how I went from here to here, and you can't give me a definite number. Right. So I ended up having to get the manager. He broke everything down, except he still was off by like $4. So he ended up actually writing it off, because honestly there wasn't really any explanation on why the fee came out to be that way. And I don't know if anybody ever challenged this or anything like that. But I was just like,
I'll be sneaking fees. Ugh.
There are a couple of different fees on there. So I want to definitely give a shout out to all restaurants who actually just take the customer serious, that, you know, honestly, that this doesn't logically make any sense. And you made it right for me. So I will be going back, just because it wasn't that they were trying to make me feel like I need to owe you this amount. Right. My question was, what does the fees lie? And I appreciate them for definitely going in. So I'll be going back because they have free hookah Monday. So anyway,
free hookah Monday.
We're gonna go to my favorite part of the show, which is random facts. I do want to know what you did come up with this week.
No, nothing major. I always say that, right?
No, it's major.
I don't always say that. Okay, random facts. Let's see. This one I thought was a little strange, but why not? Okay. Putting sugar on a cut will make it heal faster. Pour some sugar on top of the wound and wrap it with a bandage. The granules of sugar crystals will absorb any moisture that bacteria thrive on. That just do it burn? Because I know if you put salt on it, it'll burn. But with sugar burn, it'll probably still burn. What you think?
Sugar burn?
I don't know. If you got a cut and you put some sugar on it,
I feel like it would make it sweet, but still
that's the taste. But what about the feel?
I feel like it would probably take off.
You think it would soothe it?
Yeah.
Why? Because it's gonna dry it up.
I feel like you shouldn't try it at all.
I feel like I'm not gonna try. I was gonna ask you if you was gonna try.
No, I'm probably gonna get the proper medical attention.
I'm not gonna do
that
the
I
sugar
need.
thing, but they say that
they do say
okay that the granules of the sugar absorb the bacteria or the fluid. Egg white does work. I have done the egg white.
You know what? I heard sugar though too because I watched the movie the other day and they had used the sugar because it actually helps with the bacteria or something. It's something like it eats it. Yeah, they were healing. The lady got shot or something like that, and it was like all of a sudden they got all these supplies.
Right, they just had a whole.
They was randomly just available for them to make this supply thing. And he was like, "Give me some sugar." He had a hanger with some cobwebs. And they like
MacGyver.
I don't know. He I didn't even know he was a doctor until that moment.
So I guess the sugar. I mean, it's something to the sugar. I mean, usually when you see stuff in movies, it's always something to it.
Something, yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. The plastic tips on a shoelace are called aglets.
I just thought it was actually some hard tape.
I thought it was some tape. I thought they dipped it maybe in some resin or something. Some plastic at the tip. Yeah, it's the metal ones. The metal tips on some of them. It's called an aglet. It helps make the lace easier to hold when you're running. An aglet.
It's just a fancy word for tape.
For tip, metal tip on your shoe. That all adds up to metal tip on your shoe. Okay?
That's what it adds up to.
So this one is fun.
What?
It's not funny, but it's funny because I actually have a skit in my comedy thing where it talks similar about this in a different kind of way. Anyway, sign language has tongue twisters. They call them finger fumblers.
Say it. What in the world? So basically, the language it's like you can just whatever it is that you're saying, and then throw a twist into it,
like a tongue twister that we have. Yeah.
That's actually kind of interesting.
Peter Piper picked the pepper. Yeah, all of that. They be
now,
like
how would
Peter
you do
Piper.
That?
Pick the pepper.
Now,
Peter,
this is in no shape or form actually making fun of the deaf community.
No, definitely not.
We're not.
But I just find that to be funny. Like, I would have never thought that they would have had tongue twisters, like finger twisters. What is it? Finger
I mean, I honestly think that they would, because, like, why would they not have the same fun as, like,
so
now,
would?
But now you just have to do it with your fingers. Like,
now when I watch stuff and I see people and they be like, I would be like, that's a fumble.
So, actually,
that's a finger fumble.
That lady who was like a scam artist,
she
fumbled the whole time.
She finger fumbled the whole thing.
But they probably got it, though.
Some people probably
She
did.
probably shortcut all of it.
She did shorthand.
Shorthand, all of it. He was talking this long, and she was like...
Can you do shorthand sign language?
But she did do this part at one time.
Did she? She did not do that part.
It was weird.
No. She did that part?
She did something that was like, I know that's not a word.
Girl.
But it could have been a finger fumble.
A finger fumble. Yeah, finger fumbles. I mean, if anybody out there has ever heard of that one stuck to me. I thought it was funny because in my little skit I talk about, it's not actually sign language, but I just talk about grown men that still gangbang and they still throw up signs.
Yeah, and
like at that point, I feel like you should at least be teaching, you know what I'm saying, a whole new language.
You should.
The community or something, a different way that we could talk to each other.
So they were gangbanging and getting back to the community.
It should be a whole nother different thing. Just like, I mean, everything else is, why not? They have a whole different language. All of that stuff means something. Why not teach it? You know what I'm saying? Why not? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if you're that old. If you're that old, you just need to do something with it. Because just walking around throwing up gang signs, you like 50 years old, like dang near, no.
Well, how old is Snoop? He's still Kurt walking.
Yeah,
But that's Snoop, so.
Yeah. I guess, what, do you get a pass because you're a celebrity? No. Sit down, Snoop.
No, I think you get a pass because you're Snoop. Like, Like, what else would he be doing?
So it's old. Snoop can crip walk, and no matter how old he gets.
I feel like at 70 he would still be doing it.
He definitely will.
And
my son said, "Mom, you know what? I was looking at Snoop Dogg, and he just looked like an old man to me." And I was like, "Really? Because you're young?" He was like, "No, I even went back to when he was young." He was like, "Yeah, he still looks old."
Well,
well, dang, Snoop.
He gets a pass because he's Snoop. Because Snoop is like
Snoop,
the uncle. He's like forever. He's that one person that you can just say it's okay, but you can't do that, sir. Yeah, don't you walk down the Snoop path because you're not Snoop.
Everybody is not
at
Snoop.
all.
Okay, so
don't do it.
And I have another and the final, and I'm just trying to look up one of these because it's weird to me, but I didn't know this. There's 7 different types of twins. Did you know that?
7?
7. Mm-hmm.
Fraternal, infraternal. I mean, not. Sorry. Fraternal.
It's 8. She added 1.
No, that's it. Fraternal twins, and what's the twins that don't look alike? Fraternal. Oh, fraternal twin. Okay, so you're a twin. Identical twins. Fraternal twins. Mm-hmm. Siamese twins.
Oh, yeah, they didn't add that on here, but yeah. Aha. So there's 8. Well, 9, including the one she had. Irish twins. That's 9. Twins.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Where's the next one?
Okay, so theirs is, well, officially, I guess ours is unofficial. Half identical. So maybe.
Kind of looking like, but don't.
You looking like by the eyes. That's about it.
From nose up, y'all look alike.
So they're half identical.
So the parts of you that look like your mama, y'all share.
Is that so are these the twins where it's like one of them is, well, that wouldn't be half identical.
Half of you look just alike.
Half looks like your mom.
Right.
So I'm a twin then.
So y'all might have the same eyes, but your nose might be different. Or your mouth might be different.
Oh.
That's kind of... Yeah. Okay, that's just 2 different people that look alike. Oh, but if they was born at the same time, then yeah, that would officially make them twins. Okay, mirror image, which I think would be the same as identical, but apparently not. Mixed chromosome. I'm confused about that one.
Is that a boy and a female?
I don't know. It says it. It could be, but that's a twin with mixed chromosomes. I don't know.
Well, one was supposed to be the boy, and the other one's supposed to be a girl, but then they swapped.
All that means is one of them didn't fully develop out to be, that's all that means. And then there's something, this was I was trying to look up, but it didn't come up fast enough, and let me see if I'm saying this correctly. Superfecundation and superfetation are 2 other types of twins. I was trying to look it up.
Seems like they have like superpowers.
Okay, fecundation. It says it's a fertilization of more than one ovum within a single menstrual cycle by separate acts of Oh, so that's when people, like, you ever heard when somebody gets pregnant and it's 2 different eggs and they can actually have 2 different sperms?
Oh, when it's like, well, you guys are twins, but technically you're not because that's your dad and that's your dad.
You are both the father.
Oh my God.
And let me see what superfetation is real quick, because that's crazy. I would have never thought that one. Would have never thought it. Did y'all know that one? That was a random one for me.
I just saw a Black Lightning episode like that.
Really?
She had a black baby and a white baby. Her boyfriend, she had a white boyfriend and black boyfriend, and she got pregnant by each of them. So when she had her babies, the black baby came out first, and then after that, then the white baby came out.
Lord Jesus, it's a fire.
What's the percentage of that like happening?
I don't know.
Is that
in this world probably a lot? I don't know. It's been a while back. These babies is probably old. But do y'all remember they used to be passing a picture? It was a little beautiful chocolate baby and a little light skinned albino baby. They both had like blue eyes or something.
Yeah, but they were
twins
sisters.
Sisters or something. They're bigger now, but I don't know if they the same or not. But I guess that's what that is. Okay, and then the superfetation is the simultaneous occurrence of more than one stage of developing offspring in the same animal. So what that mean? Is the
That's a little scary. You're talking about animals now.
Okay.
That animals having multiple kids.
Embryo from a different menstrual cycle. Oh.
So it's just like Finding Nemo.
Oh, another embryo or fetus is already present. Oh. So you can get pregnant and have a menstrual cycle and then get pregnant again. So you have two fetuses in you. Two embryos.
So you had a baby at 9 months. Then you gotta wait a month and then have the other baby.
So you're gonna have a baby at 8 months and 9 months.
God. Ma'am,
28 days later.
You should just take both of them out. Take them both.
That's crazy because I would have never thought of these different variations. You know, I just think of you look alike and you don't. You was born on the same day, at the same time from the same JJ.
Well, one of these scientists had to put a name.
That's because they be playing with stuff and tweaking stuff. They didn't create these super fish funkations. What?
Yeah. What? Now they're walking around the world.
That's like trying to get a man pregnant.
Yeah, leave me alone. That's a whole different topic right next. But no, just leave that alone. That's just no. We're not gonna do that tonight. It's a whole nother topic. If you guys knew about all these different
random topics,
random facts, as usual, please share your random facts. And yeah, I'll always be coming up with something. We just never know what it is.
Yes. So
let's get down to this topic for tonight. Mm-hmm. Generational curses versus legacy.
Yeah.
We couldn't talk about one without the other because it's like the flip side of the coin. You know, the head or the tail. And I think it's always talked about generational curses, especially in the Black community.
Yes.
At least the people I've been around. Generational curses is always the conversation, you know, because of all the different, right? Because of all the different things that our community is plagued with from generation to generation to generation. So it's like every little thing. And the part about that is it sucks for the generations to come because you have to deal with stuff that wasn't your fault. Like you had nothing to do with. You know what I'm saying? I got to deal with all this stuff from great grandmama. Because y'all ain't did this. Now here I am in 2021. You know what I'm saying? With all this baggage and ailments and all of this stuff because y'all didn't do y'all work. Now I got to be the one to do all the work for everybody.
And it's tiring.
It's tiring.
It is.
It really is. And generational curses can be anything, like you said, from it being alcoholics in the family, from
education,
lack of education. Mm-hmm. I've learned, like, even, and I don't know if I would call, well, I guess you could call it a curse if it gives you a negative effect or affects you in a negative way. So I would say a lot of times, definitely in the Black community, the curse of bad health is passed down. And I hate when we say, oh, she big boned and all of that. No, the generational curse is the way we cook. If we change the way we cook and not pass down grandmama's greasy lard fields, ham hock, you know what I'm saying? We passing all this. It tastes great, but we're passing down the wrong traditions and the wrong things. And then we want to blame it on, oh, that's just us, or oh, my whole family always been that. You know why? Because the whole family always been eating the wrong foods, you know.
Or not in moderations or proportions. This is every Sunday.
Right.
You are clogging your arteries.
Like the clumps.
Ooh, pass me that chicken, honey.
Okay. Yeah, that is just I think that's one of the biggest things that we hear in our community.
Health.
Yeah, and my grandmother is so funny, but she always, every time I talk to her, if I tell her, ooh, my elbow hurts, she'd be like, yeah, you probably got this. And you probably got that. You know such and such got. I'll be like, Grandma, stop giving me everything. I don't got that.
But they do know what they're talking about because they know.
Sometimes they speak stuff on you. Don't speak it on me now. I ain't got it. Now, if I get it, we can talk about it. A common ailment. But until I get it, don't speak it on me.
And butter don't fix everything. Like, stop putting butter on everything. Let's just get some butter. What is butter?
Put some butter on it. Why is butter?
cooks a burn. So don't put no butter on no burn.
Butter cooks a burn?
It cooks a burn.
Well, why they say put butter on it?
That's the worst thing to do.
That was the thing to do.
Like, it makes it hotter. I mean,
yeah, it makes it worse. You put egg white on it.
Egg white go on everything, don't it? Put it on wing worm.
Yeah. Just eat the egg white every day. Your body will be clear.
Some of that stuff work, and that's what goes into the legacy part. Some of those good things are.
What's some good things that were passed down to you?
I would say this. This is the part, and it ties into Keisha. I think that the legacy of family reunions and family gatherings
definitely died down.
Have died. Like, I don't know when the last time. I think probably the last time I remember being at a family reunion, my oldest child was 1 or 2, like maybe 3, maybe.
People just got lazy with planning.
And then everybody's like, ooh, I don't mess with them. This part of the family don't mess with that part of the family. It's like, really, y'all? It used to be a time where everybody came, everybody had the different shirts. You remember the different color shirts?
I used to be excited about those
the blue teams against the red teams. You used to have
the games
and all of that. Those are legacies that I think that our children today would benefit for. I think that would have a better appreciation for family and just coming together. I miss stuff like that, and that's what I like about Keisha now. And it's not just her immediate family, like her mom or dad or sister. It's like their family, like their uncles, aunties, and they kids and grandkids. Like, and they do this every year, and they do multiple things every year, all of them. And I just love it. And I just think that that's something great to pass down because it brings that unity. And there's so many gems and jewels,
that you can pass down.
Yeah, and I think that's another thing too. We ain't got real grandmas no more.
Well, yeah, the youngest grandma was probably like 28, 20.
We don't got real grandmas no more because I think that's why we had the family reunions.
Because they didn't have nothing to do.
Yeah, but we all came together for grandma. You know what I'm saying? For the matriarch of the family. Everybody came together
to celebrate their. Yeah, and we used to do that too. I think the last one we had was like, so we started, my dad's side was doing it. The last one we had was 2018, and no, 2017. So we're supposed to have it like every 2 years. Then somebody new takes on, you plan it, whatever city it was in, and then the last part was we were supposed to have it somewhere. Oh, we were supposed to have it last year, but COVID happened.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's something that it is needed, especially. In the Black community, because I feel like we're geared towards that you are on your own kind of vibe, and
I'm doing me, and it's just me and my people over here,
and or it's not. It's like bump your family, and as I'm like working on different relationships with my family, I want those kind of things like come, it's okay. Let me call. Let me check on you. Let me see how you're doing, like. Now, it doesn't have to be that I want something. I just want to just say, how are you doing?
And I think that for me, and my family might think otherwise, but I think that I was supposed to change a lot of the generational curses in our family. Like, I was the first one to go get a college degree. I'm probably the most outspoken of everybody. I don't accept everything that they give me from generation, whether it's health, or mental health, or some of the things, and it's like I push the envelope because I don't want it to be like that. I love my family, and I don't want us to be broken and all of these things. So when I see these things, it's like I can't continue in the pattern. You know what I'm saying? It's like I gotta break the pattern, and sometimes people get upset or nobody want to mess with me or whatever, and it's okay. But they come back because I'm like this too. I don't care what you do. You still my family. So you can be mad. You'll be all right. But I'll see you later. I'll call you later.
How do you have those conversations? Actually, I talked to a friend about this, of having those, if this is something that you desire to kind of break those generational curses, how do you have those conversations for people who are in your family that just always negative about life? It actually has nothing to do with you, but you are a product of whatever it is. And now they just dragged it on with life. You like, are you still mad at Susie Mae or whoever it is? That ain't got nothing to do with me.
I had a conversation with my grandmother, and it's a couple of things. She said, older people are amazing, all the different things that they have, the wisdom that they have. So part of what she used to tell me is that for her, and she's 80 something, she doesn't like that parents don't teach their kids. Like, teach their kids manners. Teach their kids, like, how they used to do. Like, y'all not teaching them nothing. Y'all just letting them do stuff and then, discipline them or this, that, and the third. But you're not really teaching them how to do stuff. And she had that talk with me.
Lord, sorry.
And she had that talk with me. And that always stuck in my head. And so when I had my kids, I said, you know what? I'm going to teach them stuff before. So when they got old enough to, like, wash the dishes, I said, okay, I'm going to teach you how to wash the dishes. Watch me do it. This is what you do. Da, 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 da. So now when you go in there and do it, you will know how to do it. Same thing with the bathroom or whatever. Or even just little lessons about stuff, because that stood out to me. I'm like, dang, when you think about it, we're not purposefully teaching our children things. You know what I'm saying? So that part really stood out to me. And I think that jewel that she gave me, I would take as a legacy, because I'm teaching my children.
I
want
think that's a great jewel to have.
Right, to continue to do that, because if we just leave everybody out to their whims and we're not offering that wisdom, you know what I'm saying? That's just crazy. And then the other side of my grandmother is she's wonderful. But every time I talk to her, she probably spends 15, 20 minutes talking about everybody in the family. About what she don't like, how they live in their life, and this, that, and the third.
I think that's everybody's grandma.
Everybody's grandma does it, okay?
But they're so sweet.
They so sweet. And see, my grandma, a lot of people don't want to mess with her just because she's straightforward and she'll say that.
Yeah.
But I feel like at 80-something, you shouldn't have to censor yourself. Say what's on your mind. You 80-something. You good. Like,
yeah.
Go for it. But I asked her one day, I said, Gran, why do you spend all this time putting everybody down when you realize that you're the matriarch of the family? You're the one that set the stage and basically taught the family how to follow these behaviors, And her response was that she does acknowledge that she used to be a certain way or used to do certain things, but now she doesn't, and that's the difference. She doesn't anymore, and everybody else still does. I'm like, okay, that's still judgmental, but at 80, you shouldn't be doing a bunch of that stuff. But you gotta let people go through their process.
They're at your where you used to be.
Where you
and
used
they
to be.
They don't do it no more.
Exactly.
So
my grandmother said that the other day. She was like, Kirsten, I actually thought about what I was going to say before I said it. I'm doing better now. I was like, did you want a hug or something?
Okay, give her a high five.
She was like, I'm really trying because it's been hard.
Yeah, girl, give her a chest bump. High five. Because it is hard for some people, especially older people that are set in their ways.
Yeah.
And they're used to certain traditions that no longer exist and certain values that no longer exist.
Yeah. So
it's hard for them to accept these different changes or ways of communicating and things like that. Because growing up for me, child stay in child place, you don't say nothing. Grown people over there, kids over here. Nowadays, kids and grown people all in the same conversation.
Exactly. And you're like...
And it's so funny because I've seen people and I've talked to people and I'm still in the old school mentality, I guess, with that. Like, who is that? And I'm the mama friend that's like, who is they talking to like that? Why the fuck? Like, what he say? Like, I don't do that. Like, those are the type of things that I think that even with being young, I think it's just the values of just being a good person, and just the basics. Don't steal, don't lie. You know what I'm saying? Have a consequence. Like, most of the times it's just overlooked because the parents got so much other stuff to do and they grinding and they boss bitching and they doing all this. So they just like, just don't hurt yourself. You good, just don't hurt yourself, but you're going to be cute when you're doing whatever it is you're doing out there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're going to have you laced from head to toe. But that's not the legacy that I want. And I always tell my boys, like, I've come from a lot of different dynamics. Struggle, this, that, and the third. But I've learned things, and I try to impart that on them. And I've always done that since I've had them. And I always tell them, I know I talk over your head, but I'm talking through you. I'm talking into your spirit. So when you get to the age and the stage to where you can really comprehend what I'm saying, you'll remember it. Because I do it now. I can remember stuff that my mom didn't even directly say to me. You know what I'm saying? But I heard her say, and it still resonated with me. And as a child, I didn't really get it, but certain things happen, as being a mother or growing up, and I'll be like, dang. It was a part of time in my life when I was in college, and I just felt like I was my mother. Like I just so much about her just reminded me of how I felt, how I talked, and I just was like, oh my, I just feel like my mom right now. Like it was just crazy.
I love having those conversations with we had a topic on this of kind of reintroducing yourself to your parents or whatever. So now having these adult conversations with my mom or my grandmother, I'm starting to learn more things about them. And it makes perfect sense now, but it gives me more clarity. But I'm thankful to have the opportunity to ask them these questions instead of just kind of letting life go by. You have these resources that are right in front of you, but we haven't given the chance to take the time to actually talk to your parents. It's always the vibe of I gotta go get this money, I gotta go get this, and then sooner or later, members start, disappearing.
Right.
And you got all these different things, but what did you really gain from it? You got hella money, but what did you gain from?
What is the wisdom that you can take from that?
What is it? Yeah, you can take that. You know how to make money. That's easy, but I want the legacy that I can make money, but family is important to me. Like family is, I want to be able to instill those into my children, into my family that I'm going to have, and be able to just have something that's ongoing. Those things that I used to love in my childhood of taking, my dad take me skating on the weekends. Like I do see those things now, especially now the Black father is definitely now they are showcasing it more. They act like we never had fathers, but they're they are displaying it more on the fact that we do have fathers. Okay, you don't have to ask us why we don't have one, but whatever. Showcasing that, that father and daughter love, that mother and daughter love, and that the grandparents, and having respect for your grandparents, and just kind of breaking some of those curses. I've definitely have broken some already with education, running your business, and
definitely. I think that too. I would say the older generation also has to be open to talk. Because I can remember many a times my sister wanted to get to know my dad, and he was not open to talk to her.
That is true.
You know what I'm saying?
That's so true.
And it really hurt her because she's like, I'm just trying to get to know you. You know what I'm saying? And you won't open that door for me. And some people, even, my mom in certain areas, and just other people that I know that are older, it's like they close in, and it's like that still mentality. You know what I'm saying? We older, but you still a kid, and this still my business. But it's like all your business affected me. So that stuff is trickling. It trickled down in me, and I'm trying to get some clarity so that I can make some changes, so that I don't let it trickle down to my kids, and I can get that clarity by being able to speak with you and get a different point of view. And I think for me, as I got older, I do have a different perspective and point of view of my mom. We've had several different conversations over the years, especially when I left home and went to college. Over the years, that just really just were profound for me, and it just helped me to keep in mind who I was and where I was come from and my ground and all of this. So even when I was behaving or acting or doing things that wasn't normally me, I always had that root. I always had her like, okay, remember, in my back of my head or whatever. And those things just really stick out to me. And then now that I'm older, and some of the deeper conversations we had, I can see her. I feel like I can see her in her right and her wrong. But because of where I am, and as a mother, and knowing that even in all that I've done, the best of my ability to take care of my kids, I have not been perfect. And there may be a day my kids might say, hey, Mom, when you did this or that, it might be a day. All I can say is I did the best that I could. And so I have a whole different perspective of my mom, so that certain things that may not like or may have harmed me in the past, it doesn't affect me in the same way because I have a different perspective. And that is important because we've been able to have that conversation. But if you don't open the doors to have those conversations, then you can't even start to heal. And that's how come those generational curses continue.
Exactly.
Because if you're not going to talk about it, if you're not going to be transparent, if you're not going to be coming from a loving place and you close out, then that leaves this person with anger, this person with doubt, this person, with all of these insecurities and this, that, and the third. And really, if you just sit down and had a conversation and explain,
it clears
what I'm saying, where you was at that state of mind, your place. It's not that you're explaining or have to explain nothing to your kids kind of thing. It's just just providing some context to the behaviors or the situations that happen. You know what I'm saying?
You're just opening up the doors, and I feel like once you kind of get to that level, because it's not something that happens overnight,
right? Definitely.
And that your parents are open and they're trying to, not, Kirsten, go to your room. First, I live by myself.
Right.
First of all.
But where's my keys? Yes.
Yeah, so once you get to that level, it becomes better. And even, now I'm having more conversations with my father's side, and it's I feel like what I put out, what I wanted in life is now coming, and I'm just doing the work to do it. It hasn't been easy, but this is something I wanted and something that I needed to get to the next level in my life. And I thought that this is a great topic to talk about, so I definitely want to be in there. But I mean, we talked about those generational curses that I want to break. I don't want those, and not nor if everything's going to be perfect. Like I don't checked off all the curses,
right? Like some of the curses you don't even know.
I just don't know. They just going to be there. But creating that legacy to where it's an open door, but it comes with manners. It comes with education. It comes with respect, and it comes with creating some of your own new traditions that you want for your family. So things I don't know, it's just kind of like you take it out of it's like currency. You take it out of your toolbox, and this is what I need in life, but I can't get these things because you don't talk to me.
And I think, I think it also goes into what you value.
Yes.
What is important.
Yes.
And I think that falls under the legacy part, because what you value, that's what you want to pass on to your family, And one thing that I think when people think of value, they think monetary. When they think of, I want to leave a legacy, I want to leave my kids money and land and all that, which is great. Yes. But the values and the character and all of that is very important. Another thing, while you were talking, it made me think of a great jewel that we used to have in our Black communities, where our Black communities were united in that I couldn't go up the street and behave badly because your mama would see me, snatch me, take me to my mama.
That's true.
You see what I'm saying? So it's not a bunch of bad kids just running around in our neighborhood, because everybody
was on the same page.
Exactly.
But now everybody's like,
and that's something I wish that we could have carried.
We can't touch these kids.
Right. It's
Why not?
Don't say nothing to my kid. Your kid done been over there, bust your window out and been burning stuff down.
Ma'am,
don't touch my baby.
Your kid steals.
Yeah. And that's one, that's turned definitely into a curse.
Definitely taken over.
That's definitely turned into a curse.
But there's so much more things that are open now where we didn't have it. So like, my fun day was actually probably reading books. I didn't, or playing the Oregon Trail.
Did y'all have a bookmobile?
The bookmobile that rolled around to drop off the books?
Yeah, it was like a mobile library. Did y'all have one?
I don't know if we had one, but I do remember
we love the bookmobile.
They used to come and park in front of in the neighborhood.
In the neighborhood,
and you could just go in and you could sit and read your books.
It was like a rolling library for the
That's
kids.
That's super dope.
I know. I used to love the bookmobile.
I used to go to the library though. Like I had I actually still have my library card. But I went to the library and I would check out different books, and that's how I got really into traveling, because my grandmother, she traveled. She left when she was 16, and then she was out of the U.S. And I was started looking at all this stuff, and I'm like, I'm going to go visit this place. I'm going to visit this place. And mostly all the places I have visited so far. But those type of things, like, now it's the tablet, and you don't even know what your kid is watching or doing. You just know that they're quiet at that moment, and it's not taking full, control of the situation. And nor can I really even speak on this. I am not a parent at all, so I can't tell you that this method isn't working. I don't know what it is, but I'm just saying, as far as me, how I was raised, how I was raised, I'm a parent. It's simply that, on Saturdays, I would have to get up in the morning and we would go to the library. I have to pick out a book or whatever. Then after that, I would go to the skating rink. That was like my time. And after that, I would go make mud pies with my neighbor across the street. Like, that was like the funnest weekend of my life. That did not involve any tablets, phones, or nothing. I just simply connected. And I think that we're missing the connection part. I was just about to say, everyone is always on their phones, and you're so busy.
We're so connected to technology. That's what it is. That we're not connected to technology. Because what we don't realize is that we, as humans, as children of God, are the greatest technology that we ever know. More than the iPhone, more than the Macs, more than all of that. We are the greatest technology, and we don't communicate and connect with ourselves because we're too busy connecting with all of this other external things. And I think that's why we lose a lot of the legacy, because a lot of the great community legacies involved being connected. And so we're so disconnected now. So yeah, I mean,
it's like it's like you're there, but you're not present.
Right. Yeah.
And it's like, I have so much stuff to do, and it's just like 30 minutes of your time. Like, it's just, I don't know. Like, I definitely want to implement that more, just valuing time more. Like, I don't want to, I mean, and that's so crazy. I have this tattooed on my hand. Like, so crazy. This is in Greek, and it means time, and I had it backwards because you can't reverse it. You need to value the moments that you have right now, and I want to take that for what it is. Like, I want to value that time, so don't come into my life or my place if you don't plan to uphold those same values either. I want to be in a place where it's present, so breaking those type of curses where it's just like, you're not there, but you're there.
Yeah, right.
You don't
Do we
know
have any comments about the topic or anything like that? Yeah, a lot of people think that because they are there that they're present, but they're not.
Your mind is somewhere else,
but you're really not there.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So yeah, it is what it is. So
yeah. So what type of, while we're waiting to see if we have any comments, what type of legacy would you like? Give me like at least one thing that you would say, this is what I would want to pass on as a legacy from Kirsten. Like,
great question. One thing I want to pass on to, okay, this is probably a combination of what.
Okay.
I feel like I am the glue of my family right now, because these people won't come unless I'm there. These people won't come unless I'm there. And it feels like, I feel like I am now kind of rebirthing what we used to have. So it's kind of like I'm bringing it back. So I guess if I were to put it in a word, I want to bring back that connection. I want to, that's something that I feel like I can leave as my legacy, that I was happy. I mean, I truly, truly worked on everything that I thought I could work on, and putting the pieces back together.
That's good. That's good. I think for me, I don't know. I often think about, like, when I transition, or if I go, what would people say about me, or what would be the biggest?
She was smart as hell.
The biggest,
do
like,
anything.
Do
biggest thing that people, and I think that what stands out to me is tenacity. Like, no matter how hard that wave hits you, no matter, like, you just get up, you just plant your feet, and you just,
one step at a time.
Because I've been hit, knocked down, rolled over, and all kind of stuff, and I still be like,
you're like the, you're like the zombie, but
that
you
don't
thought
die.
It's like, back up.
It's like I literally am the walking living picture of can't stop, don't stop, won't stop. Like I can't. Like even somebody else was. I was having a conversation with somebody else today, and I was like, as much as I've wanted to quit, and as much as I wanted to give up, even when I almost did, it's like something in me is like, no, like you can't. Like it's like pushing me, and it's like so I feel like I can't like totally just give up on anything, and that's why I said the tenacity. Like I fight even when I feel like I can't fight anymore.
Yeah.
And then I have learned to use my resources. Mm-hmm. And I think that's very important, and I try to teach that to my sons. Everyone is a resource to you, and you should be a resource to everyone around you that you're connected to. You don't know how people may need you. It might be a conversation. It might just be, look, I need to vent. Don't say nothing. I just need to get this out. It's not always what you think it is. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But just having these connections and just being available, I think it's very important. So I think probably for me, it would be the tenacity, and everybody would just be like, she was fucking stupid and goofy. My sense of humor. Definitely.
Very smart. Always hella random.
Yeah, definitely.
Very random. But I think these are just great conversations to have. I don't even think I've even gone this deep on my journey.
Right.
Of just like, what would I want that to be?
Yeah, that's what I was just sitting here thinking. Like, I'm really gonna really think about it and really write it down. Like, you know what, this is something good because, like we said, everybody can identify the negative. We can sit here and say all kind of generational curses that we've heard of, that we think we have, or whatever.
You do?
And then we can say, what other people could do or should do or whatever. And it's like, okay, we're identifying the generational curses, but how can you, as an individual person, part of the family, part of the friends, part of all that, change or break some of those things? So what is something that you can contribute to change the trajectory of your unit, of your community that you are connected to? And I think that I'm going to really work on that because that's a good homework project, I think.
I think it's a great homework project on what you want to
What do you want your legacy to be?
What do you want your legacy to be? And if you are not at that level, then you now acknowledged it and you can start putting the work into it so that you know what, this is what I wanted. And I feel that I'm on the right path to do this, to be the first of whatever it is.
Right.
So,
or the best at whatever.
I feel like this makes me want to go harder now.
I know. I'm hyped now. I'm like, yeah.
I'm like, oh, listen, I gotta go get this money.
And you know what? That's so great because each one of us has our own individual power and gifts. Even if, like, I was talking because, I'm microblading, everybody wants to holler at me.
Yes.
But everybody's always like, how much you charge? $700. $700. I could get it for $150. I could get it for $200. We live in the Metro Atlanta area with a bunch of talented, beautiful people, and we do all kind of things. There's 1,000 people that probably do microblading, but they are not me, and they don't provide my service and my care. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so that's how we gotta appreciate people too. You can't just belittle and be like, "Oh, you do that? Oh, she do that too." Be like, "No, but you do that." So you, Kirsten, providing something that nobody else can provide.
How do you respond to that?
You are Kirsten.
I was gonna say that.
What?
I mean, you weren't technically responding to that. It's just more of like how someone tries to say, "Oh, you do microblading. Oh, well, Keisha does it too."
And I'll be like, you know what? She probably do, but she does. She's not me. And I tell people, it's your money. You spend your money where you want to.
And I love it. It's simple, classy, and to the point.
It's your money. You spend your money where you want to.
You can spend it however you want to. If you
spend it with me, this is what I provide. And the great part about me is I have been gifted with these talents and these hands and this creativity since I was a little girl. And everything that I've always done has been word of mouth or just for people seeing me, because everything that I'll do to you, I've done to me first. So if I can make myself look beautiful and gorgeous, I'm definitely going to do that to you. And nobody sits in front of me and gets up and be not happy. I just don't do that. So I have plenty of references and things like that. If, people want to see, I don't have to go out and be, ooh, please, get my service. I'll give it to you for this. No, I don't have to do that. And I just tell them, I don't want to argue with you. How much you charge? I charge this.
That's another part of the legacy too, is having that respect for yourself and knowing that I did not try to accept whatever anybody threw at me.
Right.
I worked hard to get to where I am right now, and I deserve this.
Right.
So
yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, because I hate when people belittle other people for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was having a conversation. The girl I did eyebrows, and she was telling me about this other girl that does something else we were talking about, and then I guess some comments or something happened, but she was saying, like, yeah, this other girl charged this for that, and she only charged this for that, and it's like, you have options, people. You don't always have to compare people. And if you are, compare people in your head. Because for me, I think that's disrespectful. Yeah. I'm not going to be in front of you and do a price comparison right in your face. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, how much you charge? Okay, well, let me get back to you and let me see, shop around or whatever, and then I'll do my research and then I'll come back and be like, hey, I want to see what Kirsten has to offer. But I'm not going to be like, well, Kiki, she said she could do the same thing for It ain't the same thing. Let me just tell y'all that. It's never the same thing. It's the same type of thing in terms of I microblade, she might microblade, okay? However, it's never the same thing because each person offers their own unique talent, gift, energy, service, and all of that.
Yeah.
So you have to treat people like they are unique, and if you respect them and respect their service, then you would patronize them. If not, go spend your money elsewhere.
Yeah,
that's how I do it.
It's very simple.
Yeah, and that's my legacy. Okay,
my legacy.
No discount.
My prices, my respect, my love.
All of that.
We out.
all of that. Well, I think we kind of covered it.
Yeah, I think so. I think this is like now more motivation. I didn't even know I was gonna get all of this out as we were talking, but to you guys, I want you guys to comment below of what your legacy is, and if you're not even at that level, because I'm not there yet, but I know what I want my legacy to be, and I'm working on it. So leave us a comment below, and showcase what that is, what that legacy is,
definitely,
or any generational curses that you have broken or want to break. Yes. Comment below. This has been an amazing topic, you guys.
Okay, I'm motivated. We got some comments.
Just real quick.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. From D. What would you recommend to someone who is wanting to have a conversation with the older generation in their family that wants to break bad habits if they are not receptive?
I think that that's definitely a hard one because I had a family member like that, and I just kind of let it be, but I did try to reach out to make them as comfortable that I wasn't coming from a bad place. I simply just wanted to know a little bit more about them or whatever. So I would like say, hey, you want to meet me out for lunch or something and let's talk about it? But I didn't get anything out of the conversation, and I tried so many different angles to do it. I didn't want to necessarily hear it from my parents' perspectives or for anyone else's perspectives because I simply wanted theirs so that I can have an understanding. But I think sometimes you just got to let it be. You're not going to be able to break all of those walls down. That's just the reality of it. And I feel that, maybe, if you keep pushing and pushing, they'll maybe eventually come down. I tried a couple times, but it simply just didn't work for me for that one particular individual. But, hey, I think that I got to know as much as I could from her. I just don't know why she couldn't open up. That's the kind of thing that kind of hurts a little bit. But I don't think it's anything to kind of put too much pressure on it. Just reach out and see, like, hey, let's go out for lunch, or hey, let's have a conversation.
And I think
little by little.
I think dealing with anybody that you're dealing with, you have to look at it outside of you, especially when you're dealing with a conflict. You have to make them feel like they want to tell you something. You can't go to them where I'm trying to find this and I just want to know and all of that. You have to kind of drop little jewels, say little this, get them to kind of talk. Oh, such and such. Oh, really? Well, what was that like?
Yeah.
How was this? Because as they start to talk to you about their life, you will start to get some of the answers without asking directly.
That's true.
Because nobody wants to feel like they're being interviewed, interrogated,
or attacked. Yeah.
And especially if you have some issues
with that
you haven't dealt with yourself, because a lot of older people have not dealt with their own trauma. And that's why they don't talk about it. And I'm old. I'm 80, 70 years old. I was abused and all that. And I just don't want to talk about that to my child. So some people just don't. Okay? So you have to, I think from what worked for me, like even with talking to my grandmother, talking to my mom, just not making it about me and the information that I'm trying to get, but making it more about them and just asking little questions about how they feel. What was your perspective? What is it like? Even down to what did it look like? What house was y'all in? Oh, well, who was y'all neighbors? Oh, okay. Oh, because I thought such and such went to that. And before you know it, you'd have been talked about a whole episode, family history, and all this, and you didn't even know, and you didn't offend anybody. You did not force. Because a lot of stuff, too, in these conflicts in the family that has issues, a lot of people are mad or conflicting, and it's not your issue.
Correct.
Like, I'm mad because this person treats you like that, so I'm mad at them. But that's not my issue. That don't have nothing to do with them.
Correct.
You know, and so a lot of family beef is because of that. And so that's a lot of misconceptions. A lot of stuff, don't know the story. You probably wasn't even born when this happened. All this kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's good to just try to get the perspective. Get the mindset of where the person was in this particular stage of life that you're trying to learn about. Because they weren't the person that you think you know now.
Yes.
So if you have that in the state of mind, I think it's easier to communicate with people like that, where you're just not just going for what you want, but seeking more so of what they are willing to share with you.
Yeah. Or just tell them that you're in therapy and you're doing a project and you need them to help you out.
Yep. Or like when going through therapy, I said that to my mom, and I was like, Mom, you know, I've learned this, that, and the third about myself, and I just wanted to know, have you felt any of these things?
That is a great, connector.
Because we were talking about this, and it made me think about certain things that happened in the family, and I was just wondering, these are what they said the symptoms for this was. Mm-hmm. Have you ever felt any of these? And, you know, she's like, oh, now that you say something. And then we had a whole conversation. She remembered things that she didn't, you know, come to her remembers, like, dang, you know what, now? And so now we have that little issue in common, which she didn't even know, and I just learned about it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But that was a generational thing or trait that passed down that she wasn't even aware she had. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's just how you talk about people, talk to people. It's not always what you say, how you say it, and you have to think about the overall intent. Are you just trying to talk to the family and, you know, just to get everybody to kumbaya? That's not always going to work, and it's not always going to be possible. But do you want everyone to have peace? Yes. And everybody can have peace, even if it's individually and not always collectively. And the focus is what your relationship is with whomever that person is that you're trying to communicate. You can't have this relationship with everybody based off of this one person. You just have to do it. So if you got an issue with grandma, you work on your issue with grandma. Don't go through mom and auntie to go to grandma and all of that. You just have to pick the people that you got an issue with, and then you have to determine what your intent is, what it is that you need from this person, what is it that you're trying to get, what is going to make you feel better or whatever. Get all this information out so that when you go to talk to them, you already know, you know what I'm saying, what your intent and all that. And sometimes you can communicate that, and they'll be like, oh, really? Okay. You know. Yeah, that's what I think. And I think that's a Mocha Says wrap up.
I think so, too.
I think when Mocha said that thing, okay.
Carmel's it up.
Okay, for real. Well, y'all, we thank y'all for tuning in and for joining in the conversation. We ask that you take the time out to do some homework for yourself. Not even for us, but we'd love it if you share it with us. To really take the time out to see what generational curses that you've already broken or may even need to break. And then what legacy that you want to put out and to go forward in this world with your family, with your friends, or just the world in general. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely going to go do it. I'm excited about it, and I'm looking forward to it. So maybe
me too.
When Keisha gets back, maybe we can revisit this and maybe share some of these things because it's very interesting. But we appreciate you tuning in. Sorry for the technical difficulties. We'll always keep you updated on that. Sometimes it's a little late, but hey, things happen. But it's not going to stop no show. And Thursdays, you can always catch the full show, edited, nice and neat, and great for you so you don't miss anything. Feel free to comment below. Don't forget to share, like, follow, and subscribe. And we'll see you later. Thanks for tuning in.